unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again. Vampire Gem? Is that our gem? Our woman in a van gem? So nice to have you here with us. Joy Vive is here too, Shannon and Nana, even Jovan. Dear friends, what a pleasure. As I was looking over at the timestamp on the you now, it was a 34. Tis me, woman in the van. It's nice to have you here, friend. How are you doing? How are you doing? How's the UK? How's life treating you? Like, I would like to share with some of our friends, but Jem has been like on the self-improvement grind for a while now. She's been doing the good work. She's been showing up for herself, showing up for her health, showing up for her studies, showing up for so much. We're proud of you, Jem. We just want to share some of that encouragement back to you. I'll be back in a sec. I only drank half my coffee and put the rest of it in the freezer. So now I get to have hot coffee and iced coffee from the same coffee cup. Thank you, Connor, joining us too. It's me, your boy, Contoons, Connor himself. I want to keep going with this, but I feel like I'm lacking some creativity today. Maybe just a little bit. Just a smidgen of creativity. Dinosaurs. Yeah. I don't know why I went for dinosaurs. Maybe I can attach today's stream topic to dinosaurs as well. I want to talk about quantum entanglement today. You know, specifically quantum entanglement in the context of eating. You know, and this might be a weird one. It might be one that kind of creates some sense of uncomfortability. And I'm trying to remind myself of it too. But also quantum entanglement in the case of me and you. Right? Indira, thank you for joining us here too. That me and you, on a fundamental level, right, technically are quantumly entangled. But now, because we have noticed one, why am I for some reason getting hiccups? Because we have noticed one another, we have become quantum entangled in a new way, right? Dear Sam, thank you for joining us. Even though you might be lurking, now I know Sam is here in the space with us, quantumly entangled. Tooders! Hello, lovelies. Thank you, Jovan, for sending love too. Why are you singing the Star Wars theme to your water? Star Wars, dinosaur water now. Dinosaur Star Wars. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna make me more powerful. Maybe the water likes Star Wars, JV. Have you thought about that? It's like, oh, silly me. I didn't consider that the water likes Star Wars. Quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement. To give us a little bit of a frame of reference to kind of work from going forward in the stream, is this understanding that since everything came from a single point, you know, at the original Big Bang, every molecule in existence is entangled with every other single molecule in existence, right? To this point where the way you move, the air you breathe, and the molecules that you exchange with the rest of the world as a result is influencing not only the world directly, right, by pulling oxygen molecules and putting carbon dioxide back out, but on a legitimate level where on a quantum entanglement level, you are influencing things beyond just the scope of reality. And like I wish I could. So maybe we can do it in this way. Think of little bowls and then wires or lines of a connection attached to each and every single one of them. Now imagine every atom in existence as one of these little units, and every atom in existence is connected to every other single atom in existence. Right? That's quantum entanglement, or at least quantum entanglement to the extreme. But I would like to kind of bring it into our minds, this understanding, this experimentation when it comes to the mind, that the foods you eat become quantumly entangled as well. That there is a bunch of quantum entanglement attached to the food before you eat it. And then when you eat it, it becomes quantumly entangled into you, right? That you are, in a way, voting. Kind of coming back to that topic, Javan. And it's not just of the food you eat. We can just say consume, technically. Anything that you consume has this whole layer of quantum entanglement attached to it. These influences, these weights, these changes that you're making by choosing one thing or another. Any day I haven't appeared in chat is a day that I lurked. I'm always here. Sam, you're always felt. And on a metaphysical level, you're literally always here, right? Whatever here is later or tomorrow or 50 years from now, it will still be here. It will still be the same here, right? If I ask you right now, hey Sam, where are you? You'd be like, here. And then 50 years from now, I'm like, hey Sam, where are you? We're still going to be here. That here is not changing. So you'll always be here with us, dear Sam. It's nice to have you here though. Sending you so much love. I'm trying to do uni work. My concentration is zilch, lol. Send help, please. Mm, I see. I see a flower. Could be a lily. Is it a lily? It has multiple white petals.
No, sir.
But it was kind of closed up and it was just starting to open up. Like sending you some love, Jam. Who could possibly hate Star Wars, excluding Disney? That's comforting to know, Sam. Thank you for that. Yo, I have hard opinions on Star Wars. I'm also, I'm not a fanboy of Star Wars. I watched it as a kid and I was like, cool. But I never got into it like, this is gonna be my new religion. I am here even when I'm not here. Exactly, Connor. Exactly. It's Shakespeare, and that's the thing that we're talking about with quantum entanglement as well, right? That you are influencing the whole, no matter where you are, and even in a moment where you just think about this space, that is quantum entanglement, right? Because now you're using your atoms, your material makeup to generate an experience that you've had or that you know is possible to be had. For instance, the stream and the friends coming together here to have conversations about things, right? So even if you're not here, even if you're driving right now and Meltmore, and Meltmore is us technically, right? Meltmore is streaming right now. You can be like, oh yeah, Meltmore is streaming right now, and then quantum entangled. There you are, manifesting. Joy. Exactly, it's for kids, it's a space fairy tale, it's true. A fairy tale with softcore. Then they start. When did they start doing that? Is there softcore in the new Star Wars?
Sure.
Really? Why say sure? Say I don't know instead. I thought you watched the new Star Wars movies. I haven't watched Star
I
Wars.
haven't watched the newest one.
I haven't watched any of them really. I think I watched one, maybe like one of them. What do you mean? I don't know either really. That is the synopsis I will be using for SW for now on. Shakespeare in space. Star Wars is Shakespeare in space. Sounds pretty sick though. I would be more inclined to watch it if there was like that. Fanboys is a great movie though. Fanboys. I haven't seen that one either. The Liliana is a spot on there, Melty. Love you, Jam. Thank you for sharing it with me. I quantum farted, dude. I want to quantum fart as well, Gobber. Maybe I'll have to run away, at some point in the stream. Mm. How are you doing? How's life treating you? How's the doggos? Have you been thinking about something in particular? You've been like, this thing, I keep thinking about it. Am I trying to solve a problem here? Am I trying to understand? Am I trying to get better at explaining this thing to myself so that I may be better at explaining it to someone else? A gentleman always excuses him to fart at a distance from others. This is true. This is true. A barbarian does what? Fart is loud to establish dominance. Oh, Goober, so much love to you, dude. What's one of your favorite movies, Melty? Like weirdly enough, and I don't know if I'm proud of this, but as soon as I read your words, Connor, the first movie that came to my mind was Donnie Darko. Yeah, I don't know if that's one of my favorites, but that was like the first movie that came to my mind. I don't know if that's one of my favorites. No. One of my favorite movies, El Dorado. El Dorado. I've answered this before, I think, and I think last time the answer was also El Dorado was one of my favorites. El Dorado is with me and you too, Christian, as those two characters, bro. I saw even more of myself in you in it when I watched it again recently.
Let me guess. You're Miguel.
Obviously, obviously,
Last.
Miguel. Do you think you're not Tulia?
I was definitely
You
too.
were so Tulia. You're the one getting late as well, though. I was just there for the smile, so playing music to people. Oh man, yeah, I think El Dorado was very much one of those. Is there another movie that I feel carries a lot of significance? Lilo and Stitch, the OG Lilo and Stitch was also really important to me as a kid growing up. I'm trying to think about movies that really shook my way of seeing the world. The Fountain is coming to my mind, but I don't know if it's one of my favorites. I really enjoyed Inception, but it's also not one of my favorites.
I really like Limitless.
Limitless, the movie?
Mm.
Also a good one. They made a series, you know. Same premises,
I heard it was crap.
apparently. So, Lilo, thank you for joining us, dear friend. Hi to you. Thank you, Shan, for the updates. I appreciate you too. Aside from constant torrential rain, things are good. I'm being kind to myself and just plodding through the work. Donnie Darko was a good movie. I think it's a good movie, I do. It's just a bit dark, if you will. It's almost like it's in the name, Mel. I'm good, about to go to work. I have been struggling with motivation and having time to exercise, but it will come back, I'm sure. Especially since you're aware, you know. At least you're paying attention to these things with the God. I feel like that's the thing where I get really caught up as well. Is that we start telling ourselves a story of failure, you know, when we fail once. Like we're really quick to jump to conclusions of I'm a piece of shit because I haven't been exercising for 3 days. I'm a bad person, you know. We're doing fine. Take a breath. Relax. Look around. Notice. There's a lot to be grateful for. And there will be more still. The intentions on this is think and the C word. Think and conclude. Think and conclude. Those are the intentions that I roll for this joint. Think and conclude. What is a conclusion you've come to recently, Christian?
I don't give a fuck as much as I used to.
That's real though. I feel weirdly enough, I came to the same conclusion recently. Why do you think that is?
I guess I'm tired of overthinking and being affected by everything and constantly feeling shit about the situation that the world is in. Feeling obligated to please other people, getting tired in that process. So yeah, I decided to decrease that.
It feels like you're speaking from my heart, man. Do you think it's sustainable?
I'm sure it's fluctuations. I also do kind of like it though, because I don't want to worry, you know? I don't want to be overthinking about everything.
Me and Christian have been talking today about expectations a lot. You know, how the people that we are likes to give of themselves. Sometimes to the detriment of the self, you know, giving and giving. But then as soon as it becomes an expectation that you're supposed to be giving in one way or another, it creates this extreme resistance. The rebel inside of us starts fighting back against the machine.
Man, fuck the machine.
Have you read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck?
Nope.
It's a good one. You know, and it's not about not caring. It's basically what you were saying, dude. It's uh it's an embracing of a different value system. You know, and sometimes when you embrace a different value system, you have to care about some things more than others. I literally watched it a couple of days ago. That's why Donnie Darko is so good. Never seen El Dorado though. Connor, that one is still worth the watch. It's still really good even now. I'd highly recommend it. Otherwise, I have two of the coolest dogs in the world, and I can't ask for more. Brother Bear, you're allowed to, for what it's worth. Gobbledygoo. I've never heard of El Dorado. Charviv. El Dorado is a vibe. Director cut, Donnie Darko is the best one. It totally changes the whole story. I haven't seen that one either, actually. What kind of exercises do you do? Do you do? Do this? No. I think God practices some yoga, but I don't know more than that. The Fountain is one of my favorites. There we go. What's Eating Gilbert Grape is a fantastic movie. What's Eating Gilbert Grape is a fantastic movie. Should have won an Leo DiCaprio an Oscar. Eating Gilbert Grape? What's Eating Gilbert Grape? As a Leo movie? You ever seen that one?
Nope.
Yeah. Interstellar, Eyes Wide Shut. My favorite show recently has been Band of Brothers. There we go, a bunch of cool ones. Yoga and bodyweight stuff. Joe Bobo Bizzlebat. Bodyweight stuff work. You know, the best way that you can get strong is just to fight gravity. Give me that juice and quantum entangledness. Here you are, Melita, forever quantumly entangled, right? Because I'm in this moment, and you are in this moment, and because I know you are in this moment, and you know I'm in this moment, from that experience, a new moment arises where you are thinking, what am I seeing? And I'm thinking, what are you seeing? And together we are generating this experience, right? And this experience is now within the grand experience of infinity, quantumly entangled forever. Even if we live 1,000 more years, this moment will still have been shared. It can never be unshared. Can never be unentangled, right? Brother Jack is here too. Sopranos. I've heard good things about The Sopranos. Still haven't watched it yet though. Been missing you, friends. It's been a heavy week, but all is well. Take a load off. Soften yourself, Brother Jack. Take some breaths. Deep, deep, full. Deep, full, soft breaths. Leveled up! It's been a while, friend. Thank you for joining us again. It certainly has an effect. It really does. I wonder if the reason why I'm struggling to concentrate is because I'm studying the awful things people do to each other. And all I want to do is spread love, not hate. I was sharing something kind of like in that tangent with Christian today, beloved gem, that in order for us to really be good people, we have to kind of be faced with the most evil parts of ourselves so that we can realize that we have a choice. so that we can be differently, even though it might be difficult, even though we might be faced with a certain set of information that is not necessarily beneficial, right? When you're faced with uncomfortability, for example, to notice, to know all of the ways you could react, and to choose out of the infinity the good way to react, right? I believe in you, friend. You're bringing the goodness into the world. To be the best self possible, you must control your dark side as well as the light. There we go. Connor on the same vibe. Not to ignore it, but to embrace it for total balance. I agree completely with that. Such a juicy experience. Like I was sharing with Christian Melida after the yoga got finished, how in a weird way I was quantumly entangled with your experience in your home as well, right? Like as I was giving the yoga practice, and then talking afterwards, even though I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't see, your screen, you didn't have anything active, there was still a connection. There was still an understanding of what is, I was like tripping out about what that must be for you, like for you. What's your favorite director, Melty? I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. My favorite director? I feel like I'm getting culture assassinated right now, dude. I feel like Uh, obviously, my favorite director is. I'm trying to make a joke right now, but I'm forgetting his name. Um, Big explosions go boom boom. Director, Michael Bay's. There we go. Fucking Michael Bay is my.
Big explosions go
Boom
boom boom.
boom. Michael Bay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite director. Maybe Tarantino. Like when it comes to real movies that rip your heart out, I think Tarantino is one of the OGs. Don't even know if I know of anyone else.
I like Takeuchi.
Takeuchi. Animated director.
Guy that did oh man, I almost fainted there.
Stand Up to Fans.
Inside Job.
Really?
Takeuchi.
Interesting.
You guys should go check out Inside Job. It'll change your lives.
It is a good one. It's a little bit ridiculous, but that's the point. Hey, Kate Campbell. It's nice to have you here too, dear friend. Sharing some love with you. Man, that was quickly. A line said by the Ancient One in Doctor Strange: we don't lose our demons, we only learn to live above them. I love that one. Wes Anderson is pretty rad of a filmmaker too, Tunes. There we go. Agreed. And regarding this chapter with that in mind, makes it a different experience. And rereading this chapter with that in mind makes it a different experience. I believe in you, Jam. I believe that you can be faced with the worst of the worst and still come out on top of it. Right? In Jovan's words again, no, Shannon's words again, that you can live above these demons. You can be like, oh, cool, demons. Literally looking down as you're reading them. Shan, thank you kindly. I'm on the backside of a spiritually muddy journey and currently washing away the grime and static. I've learned how to walk in the daylight as well as embrace the storm. I see a mirror into a world that looks like a beautiful Greenland. Soft white clouds, blue skies, flowers. Sending love to you, dear Jack. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a good person or not. Me too, maybe a lot. And I feel, weirdly enough, that probably makes you a good person. Right? Bad people aren't really concerned with whether or not they're good or bad people. They just do the thing that they're doing. I feel good people are actually concerned with their own moral behavior in a way that they want to be good. They want to be good to the perspective, to the point that they won't allow themselves to believe they're good even, right? That you have to practice being good and you have to keep reflecting, keep reminding yourself of how you can be better in one way or another. It really is a ceaseless process. And I feel we're doing good, Joyviv. I think of you as a good person. For what's that worth? Balance isn't always easy to find, but I know what it looks like. So all I need to do is adjust my view. Keep pursuing it too. Whether or not you're a good person now is immaterial. You are where you are. What matters is that you don't stop trying to move forward. Beautifully said, Sam. Changing perspective, changing perception is hard, but also everything. It's like, for me, at least in my mind, like this genuine experience of you painting the picture of your own reality. And it can be so jarring to scrape all the paint off or to paint over it and start over again. Like we are so attached to this painting we've been painting. This is how it should be. I should have it like this. And then we like, nah, start over again. Melt everything away and realize that there's more to see, more to say. I focus on the horizon so that I may rise above the clutter. I believe in you. Of the Bay, thank you for encouraging us to do the same. You've been on my mind, Joe. You were so strong. And we are here with you. Sending you so much love. Thank you for that, Shan. Lita says, balancing the balance is the ultimate challenge. Because, and as beautifully said, Melita, you can have balance in the lack of balance as well, right? That maybe in your world you are very balanced always, and you don't indulge and you don't take days off of that process, of that experience. And you're very balanced, but because of how balanced you are, you become unbalanced to the point where you don't have the opportunity to indulge. So by living unbalanced, you bring yourself into balance, right? And this is not an encouragement or armor, bullets to shoot at any potential problem. It's just this realization that balance is nuanced. And sometimes what balances you today isn't going to balance you tomorrow. And instead of making one of them right or wrong, just realizing that it is sometimes. That you, with your infinite quantum entanglement, can be influenced. Alright? Because that's the other side of the fractal, is that not only are you influencing everything else, but everything else is also influencing you. I had this experience last night where I felt like I had an empathy overload. Like there was suddenly a part of me connected to all of humanity. And my eyes started profusely burning, you know, to the point where I couldn't properly open them. And while they were burning, tears were just gushing down my face. I wasn't crying. I wasn't sad. I wasn't emotional. I wasn't sobbing. There was just tears running from my face. And I was like, what is happening? Asking myself. And the conclusion that I came to is that it's feeling into the tears of humanity. The current sadness we're experiencing, feeling unworthy, feeling untaken care of, unloved as a species, and how much that is hurting. That we are, at least if we can, understand our quantum entanglement with everyone else, we are more capable of taking care of everyone else, right? Because then on a visceral level, on a physical level, if everyone else has a better day-to-day experience, feels better, and so will you. You know, it becomes a responsibility even. Unlike economic growth, personal growth can be perpetual. This is true. And it changes, right? You can regress in life to almost adjust to a certain state, to a certain community, to a certain friend group. And even though to a certain version of you, that might be seen as a loss of growth, it can be the way you're supposed to grow in a moment, to survive that moment. I feel, if anything, the thing I've been trying to keep myself very aware of is just that I have a choice. that I'm aware of these changes that we're going through. You know, and it's hard for me, and I was sharing this with Christian as well today, that this medium that we're participating, creating together right now, is going to be something to look back on, right? In 5 years from now, how am I going to be? Who am I going to be in 10 years from now? 20 years, with the advent, with the allowance of more abundance, with more resources to do the things that I want to do, with more access to powerful people, with etc., with specifically almost, and this is probably the biggest one out of all of them, my access slash bandwidth to technology, right? The tools I have to create things. 77th in just chatting. More synchronicities. Thank you for tuning me into that. How is that going to change me? And you friends will be able to see. And I want you, and I was saying this to Christian, and he said it to me technically first, but I want you friends to keep me accountable. I want you friends to, when I stray, to be like, hey Mel. So do let me know, right? From this perspective of quantum entanglement, we're all going wherever it is we're going together. And we have to be in support of one another if we're going to do that. Dry historian, so nice to have you here. Homeostasis in your mind is not the same as neutral interaction. The term balance is quite slippery, right? It really is. I frequently regress, but 2 steps forward, 1 step back is still 1 step forward. I believe and I agree that with you too on that, Jam. That's what I feel as well. It's not about failing, it's about knowing where you're going, you know, slowly but surely. I dry. There are going to be classes about the history of melt movement, the revolution of the spirit, the new epoch. I look forward to it, Connor. I do look forward to it, friend. And again, thinking about that, and I believe that too. I do. I really do. I don't want it to be dogmatic. And I feel, fortunately, with this, it might never have to be. Because instead of it going to be this thing of like, oh yeah, Melt says this is how things should be, people get to see how I've thought, how all of us have been thinking, how we were interpreting the current state of reality, how we are going to embrace the advent of brain-computer interface technology, how we're going to embrace a world of, you know, excess abundance, how we're going to be integrating into a society that no longer has the luxury of considering themselves separate entities, how we're going to be trying to create a world that is actually worthy of living, right? Not only for ourselves, but for the generations to come after us. I feel this community is powerful, creative, divine, and it's only going to keep growing. And we're already, you know, quantumly entangled in a way where the things we shared here will go with us forever. Even if you decide today to never come back into the space, you cannot undo what has been done, right? You cannot unfeel all of the feelings. You cannot escape all of the words that have permeated your consciousness and have made you consider. And we're going to be going into this future with that in our minds, literally, right? We're going to be able to share things in a way we've never been able to before. And we're going to continue being quantumly entangled. Like, I'm thinking of it from this perspective of mind, right? Where in this moment, let's do a little bit of an example. In this moment, I can reach out to one of your friends directly, like, dry historian, I think you are a fantastic human being, hardworking, a person that chooses to show up in the space, a person that went through their schooling, a person that's going to go into the world right now and try and make a difference. And not only will you try, but I believe that you will succeed, right? Moment. And I believe and I mean all of those words. But now, having had that exchange, having created that quantum entanglement, not only can you think about it now again, those things I said, but you can think about it tomorrow, and 10 days from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now. Maybe you are in an exchange, right, with another person, and then you think about that moment, And then that moment informs you in a way where you make a decision differently, a little bit more influenced, educated, with a little bit more depth, right? And then that changes that person's life. And then that quantum entanglement becomes attached to the previous thing as well. Like we cannot know. We cannot know how much influence we have already put out into the future. And that's the thing we're trying to do. We're trying to, in these moments of presence, in a moment of sitting down in front of a camera with friends, right? And I do believe in my mind that it's like us sitting in a circle, right? This is just a little window that you can look into this circle with me. It's this genuine experience of coming together in an age where, for some reason, coming together is demonized. Even, I don't even know if demonized is the right word, but touted as inconvenient. It's inconvenient to get together these days. Oh, so thank you for coming together with me, friends, for choosing to be quantumly entangled into this space, choosing to create with me. I have no idea who you used to be, different names, but hello. It's okay, try. Thank you for the love, friend. It's nice to have you here too. Forgot I was on YouTube. Melty, we ebb and flow. There will be times that you feel like you are slipping or neglecting your lessons and intentions, perhaps as part of the low tide moments in your life. Embrace it. I'm trying to. I am trying to. But I tend to be hard on myself as well. And I know you might be the same, Brother Joe. Low tide reveals treasures that are unseen when you are flying high. I like that. I've never thought about it that. When you are in the ebb, you might reach depths of yourself, discover new treasures that you've never seen before. And maybe when you're flying high, you might have perspective on the world, on happiness that you don't have necessarily always. But there is value to be gained in both of those extremes. Joe, I love that, right? It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Brother Jack. You wanna take a puff with me? You wanna sit? What are you doing?
My AI image generator is fucking paywalled again.
Oh.
So they were like, okay, paywall. Then they were like, alright, cool, no paywall for some things. Then they were like, okay, paywall for a certain amount of views. Assholes.
You want me to do the thing? All I hear is quang.
Balo.
Here is Christian. Come hang, Christian. There we go. Shannon is encouraging you to be here too. I haven't even read something worth saying. You want to read us something worth saying? Open the book somewhere randomly and read the first thing that pulls your attention.
Always kick children when you walk by them.
That's a good one. Always kick children when you walk past them. Oh, wow. Really? That's the best you can come up with?
Never whip your slaves less than twice.
Christian, please.
Steal ice cream from the helpless. That includes disabled people.
Especially grannies.
Disrespect your elders. Spit in their direction even. This is it's a lot. Alright, I'll pick. Life is living you.
I like that one, dude. Quantum entanglement, right? Life is living you. That one plays with my brain a little bit.
Let's hit another one. This guy sounds a bit pious. You are always creating what you desire.
This one speaks to me. Genuine humility flows from the deep-seated recognition that you cannot save yourself, that you are created and not creator, and that you are a fact and not a cause. Right? Creates a sense of separation. But then it brings it back with the you are a fact and not a cause. Right? Think about that. That you are not here because of something. Sure, your parents procreated and then you originated. But you are here as a fact in this moment. Right? You can look down at your hands and for a fact, see hand. You're not here for a cause. You're here because. Finding some more ones. Iconic Christian sign. Hey Christian, you have a bunch of friends saying hello, dude. Hello, chap. Hi, Christian.
Chefskis.
Who is tears? Thank you for saying love as well. Amara would kick me back repeatedly. My man coming with the heart. And God saith, you shall eat the child. These
We
are
do not
all-
condone child abuse on this channel.
No, definitely not. These are words of wisdom, Christian. Thank you dearly. Giggle. Love the look on your face, mouth. You do? I think that's what he wants from me. He knows that I'm expressive, so he pushes all the buttons. Yet yeet the children and spit on the elderly, so saith the Lord. Disrespect your surroundings.
Disrespect your surroundings.
We are always creating. You are always creating what you desire. Disrespect or of my elders through spit and the injury of the weak through my land. Some people desire that, I guess. And God so saith, you shall let the fields lie fallow, and ye shall watcheth the YouTube and the Netflix. Amen. I'm so glad you got the song reference. We did. Both of us came from that world.
I like this one. It's like marked in a little cloud. Wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever you go, there you are. More quantum entanglement. Andre. It's nice to have you here, friend. Thank you for joining us. For some reason, I can only use it like this. So you're gonna have to be content with just shoulders, dude. The sexiest of shoulders.
Is that what they're seeing right now?
That's all they're seeing.
Literally that
Yeah.
square.
It takes the vertical video.
Oh man,
And
that comment
cuts.
about my mouth made so much more sense the other day.
What did you think they were saying?
I thought they could see like as it's being shown on the YouTube. That's you're disrespecting the audience down there, bro.
Like, this is what I have. Oh, what do you want me to do?
I don't know, like slouch a little bit.
Slouch
Ouch.
a little bit. He said.
Sorry. What's this thing called? Now.
You
Sorry, you
Bruh,
now.
my neck kind of like took 10 years of my life.
It's
just
good
now.
for the rounding of the spine. Sometimes that's necessary in exercise.
Temporary.
Round it up the spine.
As I look upon the world,
I feel
I
like-
judge.
Uncle Fester over here.
As I look upon the world, I judge myself. As I look upon myself, I judge the world. That was a big one, dude. And this is what I'm trying to say to you all the time, Roman. That all you're seeing is yourself, dude. That's why you're so angry at. Because it's you. You judgeth yourself. So glad we get to disrespect our surroundings. Praise the Lord. Love you guys. Love you too. Who needs tears? So much love, friends. So much love to you. Thank you for joining us. You want to read another one?
Mine
like this
should
one.
serve the heart. That's a dangerous one. See each person as a blossoming flower, growing and becoming more beautiful for all of the world to appreciate.
See each person as a blossoming flower. Becoming more beautiful for the world to appreciate. Isn't that nice? Every person, right? So instead of judging, try and water them. Try and pick the bugs off of them. Make them even more beautiful for the world. I like that one, dude. All of the ones I surround in bubbles are the ones that like really slap me to the point of like goosebumps. And this one goes, transform by doing this. The willingness to abide where you are differently. The willingness to abide where you are differently. That in a moment, you can choose to experience this infinity completely from a new vantage point. That one is good as well. Although you are eternal, the things of time are not.
What does that mean?
It means this experience, which is timely, that is not eternal. You are. The observer thereof is eternal. But the things of time is not. Everything born in time will also die in time. We exist, the fundamental part of us at least, exists outside of time. Just think about that. Time does not exist where you exist. You're just piercing into time right now. So convinced. I don't want to be a flower. It would draw bees. Weirdly enough, Joyviv, we've been drawing bees. Well, we draw a single bee. It was visiting Christian. I caught it and set it free outside. So maybe it's okay if we're not scared of them. Susanna, here too. The dude abides. Joyviv, you know. Don't you want to be twerked on by a bee, Joy? For some reason, my mind went B-movie, berry twerking.
They do actually twerk on flowers.
They do. They do.
Rub themselves up on that shit.
I'm gonna pretend like this is not happening. Twerking bees. Bees invented twerking. There we go. Oh no, not the bees. Oh come on. Bees are the best. Turtle bros. They really do a lot.
Unsung heroes of our times.
They do a lot. You know, the Catholic Church is starting to prosecute them for all the twerking they're doing, though. I don't know if that's. I probably shouldn't say shit like that. I can't make jokes like that. Can I make jokes like that? I know. I make jokes. We've been like pushing the boundary anyway this whole stream. We're quantumly entangling ourselves with all of the bad sometimes as well.
I'm quantumly getting hungrier. This is gonna be a tough day. It just started, right? Like it's the morning, right?
Wow, we're basically done now.
So much to do.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Not the bees. Nicolas Cage, poorly acted. Can you do a Nicolas Cage scream? Not the bees. No, that's more Keanu.
I'm not gonna try this.
I'm
Since I got shut out for my freaking British accent. Not so confident in my acting anymore.
Instantly regresses 50 years of self-confidence. Melty, do you remember what it feels like to be a bird over the ocean? That's a good memory to have. I don't remember any of my past lives. Or I remember all of them at the same time.
I once met a guy that claimed he was from Atlantis.
I believe I am the conscious entity behind this experience, but I also believe that this experience is one that is divinely unique and worthy of my attention, right? As worthy of my attention as all of the other experiences has been as well. So if I try to hold on to one of my previous experiences while trying to participate in this one, I feel it would take away from this experience. So I don't, in my personal perspective, remember any previous lives lived. I've had experiences of extreme knowing that I've been in different places and I've had different experiences and I've lived different lives. I know this deeply, intrinsically with a fundamental understanding, but I don't feel attached to them, if that makes sense. You know, by memory or by...
I feel like there's
purpose.
unfathomable amounts of time between my existences.
Same.
Like more than we can possibly imagine before my atoms somehow reassemble to facilitate this consciousness that I consider Chris with all of my memories. Like that probably takes lots of time.
Well,
Lots of time where I become other existences with no memories of the previous times I was me. Because surely consciousness and thought is just a pattern, right? It's a pattern that can be replicated.
Well,
So it's like shape. If a thing looks like a sun, burns like a sun, I don't know, does all the things the sun
Produces
does,
gravity
is
like the
is
sun.
it is it a sun, or is it just a copy of a sun? So same thing with the idea of this consciousness thing. Is why not when I die, do I not in the infinity of existence find a container that still is me with my memories?
That's an interesting. Whoa, that's really interesting. I've never actually thought about it like that.
How many times do you think you've died,
Mm,
but you didn't realize it because...
Yeah, so what he's saying is you die, right, as this version of yourself. But instead of actually just dying and then going towards whatever is next, you as a soul re inhabit within the infinity a version of you that was the version of you were before you died and you continued living. That's fucking trippy, dude. That is trippy. I've never thought about that.
Like I said, be careful what you wish for. I firmly believe in those words. That's some of the wisest words I've ever heard. Is be careful what you wish for because you are gonna fucking get it.
Yep. There's a line in that little book, dude. It goes, "What you desire is of supreme importance.
Mm.
For what you desire becomes reality."
Mm-hmm.
It's very important. What you want, what you desire in this world, very important. Right? Because it can be a desire for something that is unreachable, and then you can, in that desire, tell yourself a narrative of how you're always going to be unhappy not having this thing. And then you make that your reality. You suffer for it. Oh, some brain melting stuff still came out of the stream.
Sometimes feel like psychedelics are little remembrance pills to remember what it's like to feel something. Like extreme anything, whatever you want to imagine.
Information is the word I'd use.
It's like it takes away everything that you would need to experience to get to that emotion. In the end of it just gives you the emotion. It's like, yeah, this is what it feels like, and you're like, whoa, okay. Okay, I ain't ready for that shit. I'm not ready for that shit. Let me prep. Prep my
It
life.
devastates me sometimes,
Let me
bro.
prep my life. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not meant to be easy, in my opinion. I mean, sure, you can just take the thing and go party away the night, if that's the intention behind it, you know. If the intention is, I'm gonna go have a good time with my friends, relax, let go of the constant worries I have on my shoulders, and just be present and dance. You need those moments once in a while, otherwise life becomes kind of dull, man. It becomes a little sad if you're just going 9 to 5 to the office, back home, repeat, spend a Sunday doing laundry, hang your shit, read a book.
Dude, for me, not
Dancing.
even the laundry or the read a book, but the anxiety you feel during your weekend, knowing that it's ending, knowing that you have another week of work coming up again.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like, I feel that's evil, bro. Like, that's straight evil. The 3-day work week needs to become a thing already.
It is.
And
It's gaining a lot more traction.
it's like they were actually running tests now, and people are getting more work done, and they have more time for themselves. Almost like happy people, you know, are willing to do their work better. Wow, surprise, surprise.
I think
Mojo.
we're getting close.
Love you. I feel, and I've said this multiple times now, the economics of cruelty and violence are no longer checking out, right? The economics of kindness and compassion are. And that's the age we're heading to by greed, fortunately. Like, we can literally get people to greedily take care of people so that the society can be a better place for it. Okay, I'm gonna chillax. No, oh geez, someone get Nick's talent agent. He's got the next disaster movie. I remember when I was in Atlantis, it was kinda whack, overrated for sure, 4 out of 10. Oh, goodness. What time and what age, right? All places have golden ages. Were you during one of the downturn, when things were falling apart, or were you there during the height of society? Let me rephrase that. Do you know what it feels like to be a bird? Yes. That I can tune into. Like I feel I do this automatically where as soon as I see another entity, I like instantaneously teleport my consciousness to look through their eyes. To see myself, to see the world from that vantage point, to see that world, right? That perspective on the world. I don't really get the lens distortion and the field of view that they do, but I do see it from a human's perspective, from that vantage point, I guess. Joe, I have been on a plane. Does that count? I'm pretty much bird, dude. I believe that I like goob. I believe that I like goob. Used to be an asparagus, and then I was eaten. Like goop. I used to be an asparagus, and then I was eaten. That's getting over my head right now. Join me, maybe I'll catch it a bit later. I remember what it feels like to fly, but only in my dreams and usually downstairs. For me, it really is like bird vibes, where the air is just viscous and you push down and then you gain lift.
You get swole.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Tunes, did you jump out of the plane? I think that would count. Sounds nice though.
Can you imagine it actually feeling like so much effort? Bro, you're busy flying as a kid, bro. You're trying to learn how to fly. It's like
Literally out of breath.
you land again, you're like, this shit is hard, dude. This shit is hard.
You know what I'm imagining right now? I'm imagining like energy fields that create like fans over your body, dude. Or maybe even energy fields that have coils, right? And then as you put them through, they create
and you're waiting for the rest of your feathers to grow in, like for them to get bigger and stronger.
You want feathers?
To fly, yeah. I mean, as a bird, as a little bird.
Oh, as an ooh, bro, like these things are like literally.
Yeah, dude.
Coming out of
like
here. That's crazy. They come out as little pins,
Really?
like literal pins, and then they unfold. You have to bite them open, and then it like splits. Like even some animals, you can like pull those little seeds off of them, and it like feels super comfortable if you do that for them.
Birds are weird.
Birds are pretty weird. I mean, they're dinosaurs, like literal dinosaurs. I must not remember what it's like to be a bird since I'm terrified of flying. Maybe you're just more grounded with the bunnies, right? Where flying animals literally would swoop down and eat you alive.
Viciously.
So I feel you're exactly where you're supposed to be, Shan. Actually, the real DB. I did. I'm actually the real DB Cooper. I don't know who DB Cooper is, unfortunately. Shanna, maybe you haven't done it yet. Maybe he jumped out of the plane so he didn't have to poop in the tiny toilet. I feel Joy Beeb is like riffing on me right now. She's like, you think you can melt brains, huh? Get melted, melt. My brain. We just cycle through life forms. The soul is just temporary, playing a game, stepping inside the armor of the physical body. Time doesn't exist, so yes, reincarnation back in time seems normal in that context. Yassi, that's a trip, dude.
Pretty damn normal.
That is a real trip. Thank you. Melita for sharing the same. Meat sacks are us. Sales. Get your meat sack. I desire moist cake with extra frosting. I remember being a dragon. Basically just slept on a bed of gold. It was kind of uncomfortable. I like being small and comfy. Basically slept on a bed of gold. It was kind of
I guess I would need to experience it first.
How
crap do you think it would be to actually live as a dragon and sleep on a pile of gold?
Hard, dude.
People don't come to chat to you. You're just alone all the time sleeping, dreaming of being something else probably.
Literally. Dreaming of being a human. Maybe you are.
Maybe you currently are
Maybe
a dragon.
you are a dragon having the dream of being a human.
That's why you get so pissed all the time. They wake you back up in the real world.
Yeah.
trying
Exactly.
to
You were like, mother. I was like,
bro, I was like
80
right
years
in the
into
middle
into
of
a
having
life.
a family, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, I just retired with my loving wife on a
you
beachfront.
sack of shit. You fuck.
Sleep, dear dragon. Keep sleeping. Yay, talk about the bearded Catria. Thank you, Dan, for sleeping. Sleeping. Yeah, for sleeping too, but for joining us here now. I appreciate you being here, friend. Meet Sex or Us. That would be a nightmare of a store. I don't think it would be. I just think there would be these people with blank expressions on their faces. You can pick yourself. Yeah, this body. This body looks like it would be a fun time. And here you are in that body right now. Replacement body parts and cheap hot dogs. What's not to love? Replacement body parts. I mean, some of your friends probably have seen Altered Carbon, where you just have like this disc, which is your consciousness that you can slot into another body and then occupy it. I desire to rule everything. You do already, dear Connor. But now what you have to start doing is rule yourself. That's where it starts. That's the everything
Good
that you
luck.
have in your hands, right? You are everything, but you are also the everything, like the ocean in a drop, the drop in an ocean. You are the everything as a human. So you have to get the handle on this everything as a human, and it's hard. The layers of emotions, the layers of wants and desires,
The existential dread.
the existential dread, the layers of needing to feed yourself, needing to do upkeep,
Needing to poop.
taking care of yourself
You
like an
gotta poop.
animal, dude.
I
Like,
had the strangest experience the other day after taking a poop. I was like, I'm fucking disgusting. I've been doing this my whole life. I completely understand the biological processes of digestion. You know, I get why it needs to happen. And yet the other day it just hit me so hard. I was like, I'm a fucking freak, bro. Out of my body comes this horrifying creation. I'm so sorry for those that might be eating or in general having a bad time hearing this.
I'm having a bad time hearing this.
It's
Apologize
horrifying.
to
It's I'm trying to I'm trying to put the point across and it's
me.
working.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. And yet, at the same time, dude, we can sing.
Yeah,
We can.
Oh, yeah.
We can,
but I
read
guess
poetry.
that's kind of why we pick these bodies, is to actually consistently remind ourselves that yeah, there's crap that happens. in
I
reality.
feel again, it's a separation, dude. Because in our current society, you poop in a toilet and then you flush it away somewhere down a drain where you notice a bunch of other poop going as well. So there's a lot of baggage, quantumly entangled baggage attached to our current way of doing it. Where poop technically is food for plants, right? And if we from our
If
upbringing
we started seeing it that way.
exactly had this deep understanding that this resource that I produce after receiving food from the earth can be given back to the earth.
Do you
and then
think we
the
were
earth
equally
uses-
disgusted by the smell of poop back in the day?
Yes, probably because it's still a hygienic thing, like you can get diseases and stuff if you're not actually hygienic with that, and monkeys do it too, bro. Like monkeys will
But
not
you
eat
s-
food with poop.
Cats
on it.
bury their stuff, dude.
Yeah,
They literally go and then they bury it.
I don't know why they do that though.
It's to stop the smell. On top of that, I don't know.
Probably.
Like they also probably don't like the smell.
They do mark their territory as well, so I don't know if that.
But they do that
helps.
with pee.
Yeah.
That's pee.
Animals, yo. And technically, we're an extension of the animal family. But we're becoming post-human now. Like me technically, was exploring these ideas on transhumanism today. This understanding that we as human beings, on the process, on the verge of becoming something else, right? That we have these appendages we call cell phones, an extension of yourself. That a human being without a cell phone and a connection to the internet, by most metrics, is at a significant disadvantage to you.
Clothes were a big one. It's like the equivalent of clothes.
Yeah, it's like sun armor as well, dude. Actual sun armor.
That you smear on. You just smear it on. It's armor against the sun.
Talking about sunscreen?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we do that too. Do you know what sunscreen looks like under a UV camera?
No.
It makes you black. it completely blackens your skin. Like it looks
That's cool.
like if you had to like do it in a real world,
Oh, that's cool.
it would be like putting grease all over your face, dude. Like
I'm
super
gonna try
black
that
and
next
grease.
time we go to a UV party.
Yeah.
Smear myself with sunscreen.
It like that's what it does, dude. It's supposed to absorb as much UV as it possibly can.
Well, either way, I
It's
still
interesting.
think clothes were a big one.
I agree. Clothes.
They were practical though, you know. They were like this stuff keeps us warm.
You know what I feel is even more so than clothes? Shoes. Which is technically an extension, but shoes.
Shoes are a big one. We needed shoes, bro.
Because imagine having to walk kilometers on gravel, barefooted, bro. That sounds like a nightmare. Having shoes. And we were talking about Neuralink as well, dude. I feel Neuralink is gonna be like shoes of the future, dude. It's gonna be like the things you need to walk properly on the internet.
There's unfortunately no way around it.
Yeah.
We are progressing in that direction if we want to make it through as a society. Tech is expensive. Tech is very, very expensive.
It is, but also not really, dude. I mean, these devices, right, can be afforded with the average person's salary right now. That pretty much every single household on earth has a cell phone now, even in Africa. Even in Africa right now, dude. Zoe's company programs with people, and this, yes, you dude, this wrecked me, where she was telling me that she develops light software, like the Chrome Light extensions, where they use like a lot less data. And you basically optimize your website to be able to be displayed in light. And she works for a gambling company. So
Nice.
she like literally these people don't have enough resources to like buy an expensive phone or to have access to the internet to like use data. But there are services that are like, you wanna gamble? Wanna lose some cash?
Want to make some cash?
Well, yeah, I mean that's how they try and hook you.
Wanna
but
make some cash?
You wanna make some cash? Easy money, dude. Double your money today.
Oh yeah.
So much resource have been siphoned off of humanity, you know, and like it's that dual cutting sword, bro. Like the internet can be used for anything. You can use it to generate wealth for yourself, and you can use it to destroy health and wealth. Like I'm trying to imagine the current model, like some kids, bro, with their parents' credit cards on like mobile games, buying gems, dude. Yes, dude. The amount of money.
I'm very upset.
Christian, I think it's gonna be harder for stuff like that to happen when we're gonna have kids one day, but I'm just imagining.
Maybe it's gonna be easier.
Maybe it's gonna be easier. I just imagine Christian's kid absolutely, you know, spending like $1,000 in a day. You're just like basically in a programming like stint, and then you come back and you see notifications on your phone, and it's like these multiple transactions. What do you do, Christian? What's the first thing you do?
I'll take the Wi-Fi password.
Text the Wi-Fi. Bruh, you probably will, you know, like get some sort of human rights violation in the future if you take your kid's Wi-Fi back.
I'm gonna tell child services.
You took my
Wi-Fi.
Bro, that's just gonna happen. Christian, you're gonna have that fight with your kids one day. Oh. Our kids are gonna absolutely shit the bed if they don't have internet one day. we didn't like we existed in a time, Christian, where it was too expensive to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It was the craziest thing when we even got internet, like cabled internet in our house. That was cool. I was actually fascinated by the whole thing, seeing it progress
How fast?
into what it is today.
Just in our lifetimes, we saw things go from box computers to flat screens we can hold in our hands. So just in our lives, dude.
From digital screens playing Snake, dude, to now like Counter-Strike.
People literally playing Counter-Strike, dude. Counter-Strike, CSGO, CSGO, Counter-Strike. I'm thinking like COD. You can like, even Apex Legends runs on cell phones now, dude. What the hell? Dude, if I could give, like 14-year-old Estian Apex Legends on my cell phone, he would not do anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where our kids are right now. It is a trend. We have been slowly moving towards a society that acts as though they are morally right, even though we have the same exact system, at least in America. We will always struggle to the top. I don't believe that. You don't judge the world as it is, you judge the world as you are. Mm. Do you believe that about yourself, dear Connor? Right? Now we're starting to think about the things we're supposed to be thinking about. Imagine how hard it is to get a proper massage as a dragon. I'm just imagining the inertia of getting up, just moving your legs, literally, instead of it being like a what does an arm weigh? 7 kilograms. 7 kilogram appendage. Now it's a 5 ton appendage.
So cool.
It's pretty cool. It would be
I would
very
be a
cool.
very I feel like I'd be a very active dragon. I'd check up on the castle, see who the new monarch is. It would be useful to be able to turn into human form. If that is a possibility, that would be nice.
Dragon Knight vibes.
If not, visit anyway. Make sure they know you're still there.
Yeah, have them have 50 cattle
It's
lined up.
it's been like, let's call it 50 years since you sent the last princess. What's going on? Been a while.
Being a chill dragon. It would be nice, actually. Sounds like the better archetype than being shot with harpoons. Everything and nothing. That's it. You are everything and nothing all at the same time, right? And whatever you believe about yourself becomes your truth. Christian saying, good luck. Really hit me. Definitely a lifelong process. It will never end. It'll never end, but like that's the point, right? It's not supposed to end, Connor. If it ended, then you would be disappointed. You'd be like, what the fuck? I was having so much fun. Here you are learning. Sorry to pile on the poop chat, but be thankful, Christian. You don't have to deal with period poops.
Trust me, I am grateful almost on a daily basis.
We have it easy as men. We'll never get to have the joy
It's
of
actually a good practice
having a child.
to start doing. It's like, yeah, this sucks right now, but imagine I was on my period as well.
ugly hoe from hell. Interesting username, friend. I'm sure you're beautiful. Thank you for joining
Ugly
us.
hoe from hell.
Yeah. Sometimes, dude. Gem. Yes. Yes, Mel. Thank you, Mercy. Dry is here too. What did he say? I'll take a pass on Neuralink, lol. It's not for you. Doesn't have to be, fortunately. Right? For me, the biggest thing that I kind of like to say to people when this conversation comes up, and this is just again a mental experiment, is the same thing that happened with computers. Right? Your cell phone is a computer. And when computers first started selling home units, most people were like, why are you doing that? Nobody is gonna want a computer in their home, right?
For me, I would like the attachable ones, like removable.
The like
Yeah, if I could like paste it on the side of my head, we're Gucci.
that would be nice. That would be nice. But then it's gonna still be nanots, like nanomachinery.
That would be still pretty cool. I don't even mind if I could feel the sensation of them going in and like,
finding their place.
yeah. But if it had to be straight up cut a piece of my skeleton out and paste it in my brain, it's a bit much. It's a little invasive.
It's a bit much. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's gonna be the same way where people are gonna adopt it. Absolutely. That's inevitable. And those people will, in the same way people of the past had now access to a computer, could do math, could store documents, could write a book, could whatever. They'll be enabled with these new tools. They'll have these new capabilities, and they'll be able to create things with these new capabilities. It's going to be the exact same thing with that technology as well. And then people are going to be like, huh, that looks cool. And then more people are going to do it. And I feel within the next 100 years, you would be hard pressed to find a human that hasn't. And there's probably going to be a divergence of the human species in that way, where there's going to be a whole society of people that don't want to and refuse to.
Telling Esteban there's gonna be witch trials.
You know,
Right at the stake.
I don't think there's going to be no separation, Holmes. We're going to accept them for their decisions just as much as we'll.
I think it would be
hope for
cooler
them
to go
accept us
through
for ours.
something like Detroit Become Human first, before the Neuralink stuff.
That would be convenient. It would be make things a little bit more frame of reference. You know,
It's a transition period, you know.
we have our beautiful, beautiful lady from heaven. You know, this fractal lashes saying, "I've been debating myself a lot lately about what I feel about the internet." I think, you know, and this is something I've said now for the third time, saying it to you, that you don't see the world or you don't judge the world as it is, but you judge the world as you are. So whatever you feel about the internet, Linny, there we go. Thank you, Linnea. Beautiful name. Whatever you think about yourself, whatever you think about your own behavior when it comes to the internet, whatever you believe is your reality adjacent to the internet, is what you see within the internet. Like it's going to be the thing that you tell yourself about it. And I feel it's hard to be aware of that story we're telling ourselves and be proactive with it, but it is the only thing that we're empowered to do.
For me, it's the paywalls, bro.
The paywalls?
Make me mad.
Christian,
Leave me to the paywall.
weirdly enough, you have a paywall as well.
I know, I'm aware. Some stuff is free. Some stuff is free.
It's true. It's true. I feel it really is just
Their shit was temporarily free, bro.
it's a process, Holmes. It's a process. These things are going to become more and more available. We have processing power on our devices these days. It's only going to get better. Sounds scary. I don't need people dropping in on my thoughts. What thoughts are you thinking you don't want people to drop into? Right. And I can guarantee you, and this is something I want to say to you friends as well. I don't know if this is disheartening, but your it's hard for me to say this shit because my philosophy is exactly the opposite. But it just goes like nihilistically, you're not that special. Especially when it comes to negative thoughts you're having. Right? How negative could they be? How bad could they be? Oh, you're thinking about sex? Wow. So unique. It's almost like people think about sex all the time. You think about killing someone? Oh, how unique. It's almost like killing people is what we've been doing for all of humanity. How bad can it get? Oh, I'm gonna, like, yes, I guess like it could go bad, but even how bad you could push it, if you still kind of have the behavioral ability to look at your invasive thoughts and move past them, that's the metric that is going to be important, right? In the same way, and I'm sharing this with Christian today, in the same way where if you stare over a balcony, there can be this part of your narrative brain that's like, jumping over, how would it be to fall? How would I fall? Would I survive to fall? No, these narratives, right? But just because you're thinking about jumping doesn't mean you're actually going to jump. Like, it's just because you're having the thought of, right, like, what it would be like to jump, and people can be like, oh no, like, imagine that, right? I walk outside and I look over the balcony and I think for a moment, oh, I wonder what it would be like to jump, and Christian just bolts, sprints out, no, grabs onto my legs, don't do it. I'm like, hey, oh, relax, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just, exploring infinity right now. I feel that's the reality we're going into, Dry. Like, the amount of spectrum of things we can think about in the negative is limited in comparison to the amount of stuff we can think of in the positive direction. Like, there's a lot more good to be thought about. Fair point, I'm still down. I want to be connected. We already are, right? Like, we already are. These things are just appendages, right? Coming off of our bodies right now. And we're just gonna put it inside of our bodies. That's where we're going right now. The processing is going to be done by you instead of it being done by something external to you. Like again, with this transhumanism thing I was watching today, technology is supposed to become transparent. That it's supposed to disappear, right? You're not supposed to notice it even. That if this technology really serves its function really well, you stop thinking about the fact that I am looking at a cell phone I am hearing sounds produced by a microphone, right? You're not thinking about that. You are experiencing this medium of conversation. And I believe that's where we're heading, where this technology is just going to become more and more transparent. And unfortunately, one of the ways we can do that is by integrating it. The internet is so sexualized. It is, if it could just not be, the internet would be amazing. Human beings are sexualized, right? Illy, I think I missed one of them though. She said my ex followed a bunch of prostitutes on Instagram, and that messed up my self-esteem like crazy. Not gonna lie, it was amazing, but now I see a monster in the mirror every day. I'm missing the it's amazing part a little bit. Maybe the relationship was amazing. And I don't know if you're seeing yourself a monster in the mirror, technically seeing yourself as that monster. I hear where you're coming from. My self-esteem was amazing. Your self-esteem was amazing.
I don't necessarily think the internet is sexualized. I think it has access to a lot of content that is sexual.
That's true. You know, and I feel
It just depends where you're browsing. If you're gonna go look at research articles or news feeds, you're not gonna get a lot of
sexualized content, yeah.
sex stuff.
I feel the thing that's coming to my mind to share with you, dear friend, is just this understanding that it's a fractal, right? The internet is an all-encompassing fractal of all of humanity. And sex is a big part of that fractal. That if not for that, none of us would be here in this moment right now, right? So it's a primary need. And the internet has just become this medium of seeing that thing in excess, right? Because
it's terribly dangerous.
like imagine this, dude. Like if we were very mature, we would have a single video of people having sex, explaining what sex is, and how sex works. Like that could be another version of humanity. But I think the weird thing to me is just how much people are making. I think that's the thing that fucks with my mind. Is why is there so much? Stop. You can stop now, please. Stop with the pornography.
It's not gonna stop.
That's the thing.
It's ever evolving.
It's an art at this point. It is just another thing that people are creating, right? And I feel maybe that's a way to see it.
Literal movies.
Yeah, to see it
Series.
as just another creation in the same way that people make guns. Just to see it as another thing instead of seeing it as a part of the thing, as a bad thing, as a thing to be demonized in the first place.
People like pretty girls. Even girls like pretty girls.
Even girls like people like people. Period. Right? It's just so easy to be a pig now. Can't just go online. I get what you're saying. It is more accessible than it's ever been. And I think of it from this perspective of a caveman again. Like imagine yourself as a caveman, Christian, and you maybe were part of a tribe, and then you had to leave the tribe to go and find yourself a feminine partner outside in the world, though. And you look, Christian. You're gonna go and look for a woman outside in the world somewhere. You find yourself a cave, you set up shop, start living there, right? How long? How many months, how many years before you see a woman, right? Never mind have any sexual relations, never mind see her body, just see a woman, ever. And now, this current version of Monkey can see more women than that dude will ever see in his existence in a day. Like that is a trip. You're right, dear friend. But if you get my point, when someone has an amazing woman right in front of them, physically wanting to care for them and do them, and then you'd rather go on and look at someone else, that's wrecking that. I feel what you're saying, friend. Like it's this experience of trust that we reach with one another. And I feel it's also this attachment that we have to wanting to be the thing, right? Wanting to be the one that's desired, wanting to be the only thing that is desired. And I feel it's also this dual cutting sword of being being desirable, right, as a person, and then desire as it works in the outside. Like I'm trying to wrangle my mind into this understanding of my interpretation of relationships every time I was in it, where I instantly generate this experience of unfaithfulness when I feel like I'm looking at another woman, where I'm not allowed to be looking at another woman, be it on the internet or in person, in a way that is, I don't know if subjective is the right way to say it.
I'm sensing you trying to explain loyalty
Yeah,
in a way.
I'm trying to explain loyalty from a perspective of extreme
Empathy?
empathy,
Compassion?
compassion. What's the word I want to use, dude? Certainty. Maybe that's it. Right?
You don't want to give them a single bit of doubt.
Yeah, exactly that. And I feel maybe that's the thing that bothers us. Maybe that's the thing we want people to do, that you should be so certain that the person you chose is the one, to the point where you cannot look at other people as anything, as something that's not the one, right? Like I don't know how to explain that properly, but it's almost like a want to believe, a want to believe in yourself, in your choice, in the partner that you've chosen. And someone looking at other people, it can feel like they don't believe, right? And then it brings back this question of the self, of like, am I not good enough to be believed in, right? Am I not beautiful enough to be believed in? Does this person not see their life unfolding with me? Personally, I don't mind if I have a man looking twice as someone else he likes the look of. But when you start following them to see more of them, yeah, guys will look, and that's fine to me. But when you start looking at the same person several times, wanking off to them, that's my problem.
Whoa.
I hear where you're coming from, dear friend. You know, and it's weird that you say this as well, because we're talking about quantum entanglement today, where I honestly believe there is some sort of magic happening, and it might not even be good magic. It might just be bad magic, right? Like a stealing of soul energy, bro, from the collective humanity when we do that to ourselves as well. Because it is energy, it's life force that you're giving, right? And if you're in a relationship and you have a partner and you're giving that life force to a screen portraying a person somewhere within infinity, then that life force gets diminished from the relationships that you do have, the people that you can
I
give
think
it
it's
to.
important to believe in the goodness of humanity, in the goodness of people's actions, and the lack of desire to truly hurt you. Very few people hurt you on purpose. They don't really want to hurt you.
People hurt you because they're stupid
They might
sometimes.
end up hurting you by proxy. They could be more involved in something happening in their life and not quite as ready to be in the relationship you thought they would be.
Mm.
Um, most of the situations are those kinds of scenarios.
It's expectation again, dude. Hurt because of expectations. That's the most fundamental one.
Yeah, people are weird. People do weird things.
And
But
we
it's also your choice to stay with them.
like that, but I also want to bring into this our minds this understanding that you have to communicate your expectations, right? And from that point of view, from that point, you can kind of like really argue, talk about why it is you want one thing or another. Why is it you're expecting something? How does that expectation influence and affect the other person? Do they believe this expectation is fair? Because I feel like, at least in my personal experiences, most of the conflict happened from expectations that were not communicated. Even with our relationship. Think about it. Expectations that are not communicated create tension. But they can also create tension just by existing, so we don't communicate them. You're paradoxing, though. I haven't looked into it, so I'm not going to say it for a fact, of course, but I've seen somewhere that a study shows that prawn makes you lose brain cells. For probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you for inviting some friends. Communication is key, I believe. Thank you for joining us, Fatima. It's nice to have you too. I'm missing some of the YouTube comments. Aaron! Dude, I've been thinking about you a lot lately, dude. It's so nice to have you here with us.
We're 37.
We have had this convo with Melty. He thinks fear is the mind killer, which is true, yet I will still tread carefully. I value you doing that, friend, you know. Weirdly enough, it's going to be a good thing if only 50-50 of us, you know, choose one or the other, because in that case, there will be more perspective as a collective. So no matter what we choose, you're gonna be included. I stole my neighbor's internet for years. They didn't have a password. Gangster.
I mean, if it was free, it's free, eh?
Fears, health, and moderation. I think you can be cautious and have boundaries. Fear is health in moderation. Fear, in my mind, is faith in evil. That's what I believe fear is. Are you streaming on YouTube too? I am. I am. YouTube is technically my main platform, dear friend. I'll pass to just because the human experience doesn't have the bandwidth of a computer doesn't mean we need it too much. I feel like we might break us down faster. I hear where you're coming from. I do. Aaron. I don't know if this is the Aaron that I knew. It's just maybe a new Aaron. It's nice to have you.
Aaron Diego.
Nice to have you here. I was tripping out about what Susanna just said. I feel where you're coming from, but that's already happening, Susan. Right? Like this experience you're having right now, there is an infinite more happening in front of your face right now. Just the frequencies of light you're seeing is but a fraction of what is actually here in this space right now. And your brain collapses all of these informational patterns into something that is processable to you in this moment. So I think it's going to be the same thing. There probably is going to be an overload of information at first, in the same way the internet was an overload of information to the average human being.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to gain.
We're gonna have to learn.
Yeah.
Sink or swim.
We're going to have to gain some maturity. I'm old, dry. I'm old, dry plus 16. I am missing a little bit. I'm 31. You friends are here now. Ageless. Ageless, here now. I am judging it based on the financial system in place. It is set up that way, not saying it's good or bad, just saying that it can be better in time. I believe this too. And I feel our words have power, Connor. So the things we say, we should only say if we believe them to be true, right? So if I'm going to say, I want the world to be a better place, I believe that I want to be a world to be a better place. If I say, the world sucks, do I believe that? Do I want to continue believing that? And then communicating based on that. We'll never have a joy of having a kid. I thought you were gonna say a joy of having a period. And I was like, excuse me? I mean, I will never have the experience of having my period either. Maybe that's an experience worth having, who knows? All basic needs are met, and we don't put entire countries in debt to use them as modern slaves. Oh yeah, my birth control stopped my period, so that's wonderful. Are you serious? You serious?
Could be something else.
I've heard some weird things about birth control actually, dude. Like the amount of hormonal imbalance that it creates in people to the point where they are attracted to people that they don't actually would normally be attracted to. That is an interesting one.
Yeah, on birth control.
Yeah. Where like there was this female comedian that was doing a bit on the birth control, and then she was asking the crowd if any of them have had experiences as well. And one of the people in the crowd mentioned that after she went off birth control, she left her boyfriend of 7.5 years. Because overnight, she was disgusted by the smell of him even.
Wow.
Like completely 180 repulsed.
That's hardcore.
That's crazy, dude. Like it doesn't even make sense to my brain. We was talking so much about the name Aaron the other day, my squad, Aaron, and it turned out to be a big thing of looking at several YouTube videos, etc. More synchronicities, friend. You're here when you're supposed to be. Studies show that intelligent people are more depressed because they know how the world really is like, though. But again, one can hope and dream. Friend,
I think we need to stop believing in that as well.
yeah, I expose myself to a lot of information. Another conversation me and Christiana had. I believe that I was a pretty evil person as a
He
kid.
was
Like this, like just monstrous.
Pretty
you know,
monstrous.
Pretty monstrous. And during that time of my life, I was exposing myself to whack stuff on the internet as well, and I probably could have been an anarchist in another lifetime. You know, like an actual freaking insane anarchist. And I had to, with that information, ask myself if I want that to be true. Do I want to live a life of fear, of fighting the government, of building bombs, of do I want to live in that world? And I came to the conclusion that I don't want to. And when I really realized that even though I do consider myself intelligent and I do try and pay attention to how the world works and how things are, I had the option to choose how I want to be, how I want to show up in the world, how I want to start, sharing this perspective of myself with others. But I want it to be true, if you will. I feel we're not limited to the way we feel, right? That you can choose to feel something else. Of course, I feel so these days. Here we go, another feeling. I do understand that I've been exposed to bullies that are playing victims when I tell them they need to stop. But I was literally called evil. Same. My sister is convinced that I'll burn in hell for eternity.
burn in hell.
And she tells me that. She's vocal about it these days.
Shit.
So I get where you're coming from, friend. But it's what you believe. Whatever you believe about your reality becomes your reality after all. Because it's what you believe about it. It's the same way where if you believe people are saying whack shiznit about you behind your back, they might as well be saying whack shiznit about your back. Because even if they're praising you, right, like saying the best things in the world about you, if you believe they're being mean behind your back, then that is your reality. And it's the same thing extending it to everything. I'm gonna become a little bit more present with your friends. Connor, Shanna, I feel that Joy Lee. I want to see what you've said. I'm in my celibate run phase right now. Just enjoy yourself, tuners. I'm happy for you. I've been celibate for 2 years. Completely
I'm
voluntary. Sure.
Almost there.
Yeah, pretty much as well. 2 years of celibacy. That's a long time.
It is a long time. We're out here turning into wizards, bro.
We're becoming wizards. We're doing it on purpose. What a gentleman. I don't tell tales out of school. Good. I feel that Joy V. Christian just saying Aaron Jagger is such a vibe. Say Aaron Jagger.
It's Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager. There we go. Thank you. And they had been saying such nice things about me. Friend, whatever you believe becomes your truth. That's the only thing that I really have to say. Alright? In a quantum entangled way, where your body doesn't know the difference between you thinking something, you hearing something, or seeing something. As in, if you in this moment are thinking to yourself, oh, I'm a failure, I hate my life, I suck, I wish I wasn't here right now.
You suck.
Your body is listening to that, experiencing that as reality. Oh, guess I suck. Guess I don't want to continue living. Guess I want to die. Versus, oh, I'm so grateful for the beautiful clouds in the sky.
I feel good.
I feel good.
Smart.
I feel smart. I feel capable of taking on a new day. I feel capable of sharing love with someone in a way that they feel better for it as well. I believe that I am seen as a role model in my friend group, right? Your body listens. It responds even. I believe that I'm married to Dermot Kennedy. I believe that I'm married.
You can do better than that.
That's a nice one. I believe that I'm Wizard King. Get wrecked, Christian.
Ah, I didn't know how this is gonna work.
Sorry, I'm probably a different Aaron. You are the Aaron in this moment.
Eren Yeager.
Aaron Yeager. Thank you for joining us, friend. It's good to be here with you all. It's good to have you, friend. You don't have to be anyone other than the Aaron that you are. I appreciate you being here too. Well, saying the world be a better is implicitly starting the part of the world as bad in a sense that you should be fixed, which it can be. It can never be perfect, but just improving yourself, even though it is perfect. I get what you were saying. Is again we're getting into the whole mind melting, inconsolable paradox vibes, right? But it is this experience of heading towards, like accepting the world as perfect. You can see all of these things unfolding, all of the atrocities alongside all of the puppies, and it gives you a sense of calm. I feel when I say the words, I want to make the world a better place, it's more tangible to me, right? Instead of thinking of the world as evil and I'm going to go and fix these evil things, I think of it from the perspective of I want to be able to take Christian on an amazing dinner, take him out for
Fuck yeah.
some rare beers, take him out with me, to Cape Town for a vacation next to the beach. I want to be able to do these things for my friends, and in doing these things for my friends, their experience of life of the moment will be better, right? So I can make the world a better place by just letting that better vibes, bleed into my immediate like families, friendships, relationships. I'm curled up in a ball, lurkily, love you friends and all of your perspectives. My brain appreciates you using the avenues of thought y'all introduce. Jovan, dude. Sending you love, Jovan. If your friends have extra energy left, send her some love. Close your eyes, see something. I'm seeing it looks like a soccer ball on a trophy kind of vibe. I had like sparkly vibes. Hope you get better soon, Jovan. Jovan is feeling a little bit under the weather. I wish I could believe any positive self-talk. Please do, Susanna. Try to begin to, say some small positive talk. Like say things that you can't actually deny, right? After drinking your coffee, rinse your cup, dry it, put it away. Being like, you did good. can't can't be like, no, can't do that. You can. Existential circle, perfect but trying to be better. Perfect but trying to be better, right? Like a circle that turns into a spiral. Atrocities and puppies are two sides of the same coin. Yeah, everything is. There is no separation. I've been trying so hard to get through that through to Amara. She gets in these super negative, self-negative rants of like, stop, your body is listening. Yeah, literally. Your boss let you stay home? I do hope so. Susanna, it's so difficult to do that. I started by smiling at myself in the mirror. Beautiful advice. Beautiful advice. It's just a little thing, but everything starts somewhere. Thank you for sharing that, Jam. That's a good start. I agree. Thank you, Susanna. It's the young mind being impressed by social media. I could only imagine if I had a phone in my hand since I was a kid. It would be crazy. Impressed by YouTubers, dude. Negative self-talk YouTubers and comparing ourselves to other YouTubers. Being like, oh yeah, surely. This is what life is. Life is so much more. I've never been depressed like that. But I have a bunch of other disorders such as bipolar and unspecified psychosis. So my mind is really good at tricking itself. Just need to say, I'm extremely sensitive towards energies. And if anyone say you're evil, they can go eat a hot dog. You are a really overwhelming energy, but it is extremely good. Thank you.
No, he's evil.
Thank you, dear friend.
He is
I am
very evil.
I am so great.
No.
I am so wonderful.
So fucking evil.
I fortunately don't feel the need to defend myself. I do believe that I'm a good person, but I'm not going to tell people of what great a person I am. I feel if I'm actually a good person, my actions and the way that I interact with the world will speak louder than my words if it could. Bipolar gang, whoop whoop. Christian, this is the truth on my heart, though. Don't you whoop to me? Thank goodness he did. Still gonna work from home, but I get to do it in my fuzzy jammies. That sounds like a vibe. Wild west of the internet. YouTube used to be a much better before Google take over. Dude, I'm not sure about that, dude. Filthy Frank was getting paid that was like actually monetized and getting paid big bucks for his videos. You know, sure, him as a creator could make money, but then Joji?
Jojo.
I think it's Joji, right? Filthy Frank's name right now. He wouldn't have transitioned to that part of himself. He wouldn't be that version of himself right now. Everything happens for a reason, is what I'm saying. I let myself be proud when I accomplish things. Made the bed today? Heck yeah, you deserve that 9 a.m. joint. Did the dishes? You are awesome goddess. Dole out all the praise to yourself. Please. Because if you cannot praise yourself, you're going to be left unpraised for most of your life. I am not Melt, and Melt is not me, but we are connected and equal. As Melty always says, we are each other's mirror. So let's make the reflection a kind one. Beautifully said, Jen. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Filthy Frank was the best, though. Let's pretend that I am agreeing while I disagree. No, Filthy Frank. I had many mental health diagnoses. It's possible to retain your mind, friend. I believe you, Lamar. That's what I say. It's the way. How does things make sense in the same? How does those things make sense in the same message? Friend, it is what you believe about it, right? It again is what you believe about it. Do you want to believe you are doomed? Do you want to believe that there's no hope for you? Or do you want to believe the opposite? Right? Because depending on what you believe, it becomes your reality. You are that powerful. You, Lily. Is it Lily? It's basically Lily, right? I'm going to read your name again. It's been a while now then. I'll have to say your name a couple of times. Yeah, Lenny. You, Lenny, are God. So is everything else. And you have to remind yourself of that. So is everything else. The bugs on the ground, the planet as a whole, also God. But you are that, friend. You are that thing. That quintessential consciousness at the center of everything. And whatever you believe about that version of yourself, you are. In the same way that you are everything. Some mental disorders are physical, but they affect your mind. But of course, it is possible to live with it and make the best out of it. That's the hope, even, right? That you can still make the best out of your life, regardless of the cards you've been dealt, to say it in such a way. I know that the transition to Joji wouldn't have been as smooth, yet I still believe that people, like Frank, shouldn't be censored. I don't want him to be censored. Technically, he wasn't censored. He was just removed from his capability to earn income, being uncensored, right? And I feel that isn't that much to expect, right? If someone is gonna make jokes about suicide, then you don't exactly want your family-friendly brand to be advertised on that stuff. So it is a balancing act as well. I was also God when I was psychotic, but the police officer just ended up saying, yeah, 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 before he pushed me down to a chair. Yeah, friend, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, right? Sure, you are that, but so is the police officer, right? If you believe you are somehow above things because of this understanding, then you automatically separate yourself again, right? That you are so powerful as God that you can make the inseparable separate. That if God held the thought that surely I cannot separate myself from myself, that would be a limitation. And you are limitless. Does that make sense? I hope so. I truly thought I was broken, and that was it. And I just accepted it. And so that's my life. That's what my life was. I realized that in fact, that isn't so. And you've shown us that. dear Shannon. Like the amount of work you've done, dear friend, the amount of growth that we've seen in you just during this, process of us streaming together has been mind-changing. Censorship is the bane of free speech. There was no censorship technically, right? You can still find those Filthy Frank streams on the YouTube platform. Like, I mean, do you know Meat Canyon? Same, dude. Like, maybe we could do good with censoring stuff like that. And I watch that stuff, dude. Like, I expose myself to that hectic stuff as well. I do. But but you cannot expect people to like unless you have people directly supporting you for that stuff. You cannot expect companies to pay you for stuff like that, dude. Like that's just too much. It's just a little bit too much. When you're using your brain when acting. I use my emotions. Of course, I'm working on that part. But when you understand that you need to act with your brain and not with feelings, you've come really far. I agree. I agree with that statement, friend. I'm happy to say your stream has helped me get through a good bit of uni work, Melty. Thank you, Jem. Thank you so much for being here with us for it, friend. I mean, I don't think that YouTube is entirely family friendly. People just have to jump through hoops to tell you the truth in some respect. And at the same point, who decides what is a joke and what's not? I hear the fractal you're participating in, Connor. Because the thing is, as well, people that are upset are more vocal than people that are just kind of experiencing something, you know, where a bunch of people can come together angrily and destroy something when a bunch of people passively enjoyed it in the first place. They might not be as involved to try and keep this thing alive, but the amount of hatred for something can kill it, all the same. I thought I was God too in my mania, but this difference was that I thought I was also hearing the devil speak to me. Does not write law. It took 6 hospital security guards to strap me down. Power, right? And as that again, separation, that the devil talking to you, you can call your ego in this moment right now. The version of you that's telling this story, this generating this narrative of what is your reality. When you see someone beautiful, when you see someone doing better than you, Christian was talking about this today, watching people, skydive somewhere with their beautiful girlfriend, you're going through this whole trip of, oh, look at this thing. I'm not having this thing. Surely these people are more wealthy than me, have more freedom than me, have more time than me, have better luck than me. Surely I am somehow a failure, right? That's what the ego wants to do, to convince you that you are small. And it is like the devil in a way, something to be melted away. Yeah, dude. And again, right, like this understanding of God within each and every single one of us shouldn't be taken as everyone should fall down at your feet and start worshiping you, but should be understand in the perspective that as God, as an identified being with God and realizing that God is everything else as well, you treat things as such. You treat yourself with the same respect you would God, right? That's what it's supposed to generate in your mind. It shouldn't be a, oh, now I'm superior. Like one of my favorite Zen koans goes like, a Zen monk wakes up knowing that it is the day for him to be sweeping the floors. And he thinks to himself, you know what? Actually, meditation, enlightenment is more important than sweeping the floors. So he sits down. He starts meditating. 1 hour goes by, 3 hours goes by, 8 hours goes by. He finally becomes awakened. He remembers, I am God. And he knows it with such certainty that his heart is overjoyed, like he knows, he remembered, he understands finally. His entire life led up to that moment. I am God. And he runs in to the eating hall and he sees all of the monks having, dinner, lunch, however. And he starts profusely explaining to them, dear monk friends, I'm God. I remembered, I meditated, I remembered, I am God. And all of the monks look back at him and they say, "Congratulations. Took you long enough. Now mop the floor." That is the understanding we're supposed to be practicing. Yes, yes, you are. But sometimes the floor needs to be mopped. Sometimes we need to cook food. Sometimes we need to exercise. That there is no separation in that too. The human brain is a wonderfully terrifying place at times. Another reason I find psychology so fascinating. Understanding more in depth. Again, you're gaining skills that can never be taken away from you right now, Jam. It's like Brandon Rogers. I'm pretty sure he isn't monetized here, but he makes content via donations on Patreon. Exactly. You can't do it that way. Chop wood, carry water. Yes, Gary Lee. Sending love to you, friend. Pressing the third eye space to tune even more into the awareness. You're doing it too? Thank you. It's nice. Yes, 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 yes. Love to you, dude. I feel like that's one of my favorite koans. It was one of the koans that I share with my family as well when I try to explain this understanding to them. There is no separation, right? That if you as God choose to hurt other gods, you're just hurting the same thing that you are. If a guy is rich, who knows? It's the internet. He could have bought the lady, or she could be using him for money. It's true, right? We don't see the fractals behind that. We don't see the bickering. We don't see the expectations. We don't see the degeneration of values or inability to communicate effectively. We just see this portrayal of something that we consider happiness, and then we compare ourselves to it. I can only see your teeth, but they look nice. Thank you, I guess. I'm very insecure about my teeth. It's one of those things, you know. It's like the one thing that's weird about being a human to me, Christian. How about that? Poop is not as weird as having teeth to me. Oh.
Teeth.
Mm.
Why?
Have you seen what it looks like on an X-ray level?
Yeah.
Have you seen what it looks like before you get your main teeth? You listen to me?
I think it's normal. I've got nothing against teeth. I mean, sure, it's a bit weird to pull them out so they can be replaced with better, older teeth.
You
That
do,
part's weird.
like, and they break and they decay and you have to replace, and they don't grow back, dude. Like your nails keep growing. You know, I feel I would be so much more satisfied. Like they're brittle, dude. You could mess them up so easily, dude. Like it trips me out. Please don't be. I'm really observant about teeth. I had braces 3 times and a jaw surgery, so you pay attention. I didn't have braces, but my siblings did. It was kind of weird. I got perfect teeth without having braces, and all of them needed braces to have perfect teeth. Even my dad had braces. Even my mom had braces. How is it possible that I just came out with teeth the way I did, dude?
Count your blessings, bro.
Happy for my teeth. Thank you, Christian. I don't think that anyone has ugly teeth, but I always notice when someone has a good smile and nice teeth. Thank you for bringing some self-consciousness. Yeah, exactly. Teeth insecurity. I'm happy you're there with me as well now, Sam. All of us, yes, tripping out about. You see, and that's the beauty. That's the quantum entangled nature of these experiences. To be God and to trip out about your teeth. Like that's the beauty of this moment. I am God, but I still have dogs to feed and dishes to do. Exactly. Can you give us another koan? Huh. What is another one of my favorite koans? I think one of my other favorite koans is the 2 monks walk next to a river, and they stop to see a lady next to the river, kind of like waving her arms, screaming. And one of the monks puts his robe around his waist, walks through the water, piggybacks the lady, walks her over the river again, drops her, continues walking with his monk friend. And a kilometer goes by, 2 kilometers go by, 5 kilometers go by. The other monk is like, you know, what you did back there, technically wasn't that much of a vibe. You're not allowed to touch women. You made an oath. You're not allowed to do that. And the other monk looked back and said, I put her down 5 kilometers ago. You're still holding on to her.
You're still carrying her?
You're still carrying her. Exactly. That's one of my favorite ones as well. Doing the banality of evil right now. Dry, absolutely fascinating, and utterly disgusting. Exactly. Feel it, don't accept it as the truth. Why are you insecure? I love your smile and your little dimples, Melty. Because we see our faults more than we see our beauty as individuals, Joy Vive. That's why I'm happy to be seeing the beauty in all of you friends and know that you're seeing beauty in me. I like your teeth, Melty, and the way you arch your eyebrows. Can you do that? Actually, do you have eyebrow articulation?
I'll never reveal my secrets.
For some reason, my dad used to do this stuff to me as a little kid, bro. It got ingrained in my brain. Nightmares about losing teeth seem to be very common. They are. I need braces, but I refuse to get them. Your
Do it.
smile is beautiful as it is, Joy Vive. I've never noticed anything other than beautiful. I love your teeth, Mel. You have a lovely smile. Thank you, Dry. Freedom of speech should be universally accepted on the internet. Let people speak their mind, even if the whole world disagrees, rather than them hiding and possibly acting out these beliefs. I agree. I had braces for 6 years. I feel the teeth insecurity though. Need braces of some kind. You friends are perfect as you are. I think that's the point we're trying to make as well. Oh God, and I just can't think like that. It's hard. It is hard, friend. You don't have to think that way, fortunately, as well. You know, there's no expectation. The best of it, the project you can work yourself. Oh gosh, what did I do? I started a YouTube trend about your teeth. You did, friend. Here you like that's the way it is. Quantum entanglement. That's the whole premise of this whole stream. Little getting my mouth taken care of, and there's a lot of work to be done. So I'm feeling, yeah, these scary teeth vibes. What a fractal. Gives me Heath Ledger vibes when you arch your elbows like that, Melty. Facial expressions. How crazy. Joy. I used to be super insecure about my crooked smile, but I've come to appreciate my monster teeth. You're all got beautiful smiles. Exactly, right? In my mind, you have to tell me. And my sister had to tell me there was something wrong with her teeth for me to even notice, dude. Person that I see most, in my life, she has teeth that are not perfectly straight. And I didn't know until she said something. You are beautiful. Yes, you are. Melty could be a good Joker. Maybe one day I will be, dude. Go full Joker again. Bring Heath Ledger back. All the love. I wish I was as cute as you and your smile. Your friends are perfectly cute as you are. Weren't we just talking about how there was an infinite human beings we could have chosen to be, and we chose to specifically be this one? Humans are us. Planet Earth was humans are us for our souls, and here we got it. We got exactly what we wanted. Melty smiles are much more than what they look like. It's what they feel like that matters. If they're genuine, like smiles and eyes, I feel is a big one. You're pretty people. It's always left to you. Ultimately, I think beauty as beauty does. I think beauty is as beauty does. And if you are good inside, then I think you're attractive outside. I believe that too, right? And beauty fades. At least physical, subjective, societal beauty fades. People won't always be as young as they are right now, as smooth skinned, and I might eat these words when we develop extreme longevity tech over the next few years, but something that doesn't fade is the way you make people feel, right? And if you can make people feel beautifully, then that is a beautiful thing to do. Keep doing that. Meat sacks are us. Location Earth. Location Earth. Meat sacks are us. But now I fit right into Hollywood. I had a cross bite, underbite, crooked bite. You'd fit right into Hollywood. I don't know if that is a place to be either. I feel just being wherever you are.
Hollywood sucks.
Wherever you are right now is the place to be. Realize that. Like in this body, in this town, in this city, in this country, on this earth, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. I have crow's feet and gray hairs, and I feel more beautiful now than I ever have in 38 years. That's inspiring, Jam. And weirdly enough, that makes you more beautiful than ever. Do we all choose which body to jump in, or do you think sometimes we just spin the wheel and take a chance? Probably the best answer to that is yes, Aaron. Mm. Because you probably do both. I think I spun the wheel. I believe you friends chose well, right? You chose well enough to be here, and I like to trust your judgment. I trust your judgment enough to believe you chose to be exactly who you are. I mean, does beauty really fade though? Meryl Streep is
Meryl
ridiculous.
Streep.
Is it Streep?
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep is ridiculously hot. I don't know, unfortunately, what Meryl Streep looks like. My house burned down recently, and that town, my house, is cursed. I swear. It's such a bad energy. I'm super sad. I put a lot of effort in renovating that house with my own hands. It was my home. I bought it when I was 21. That's a vibe, actually. I'm proud of you, friend. How blessed are you to have been able to buy yourself a house that young? Let's practice that fractal. But honestly, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to fire. There we go. And weirdly enough, this card is a card of fire. Look at that divine feminine entity with the fire burning around her. So there you go, friend. You're perfectly in tune. Tell yourself a story like that, of being in tune, of being supported by the whole, of being taken care of by the universe. Can afford better plastic surgeons than we can, so there's that. This is true. Meryl Streep probably have spent millions on her appearance. Firewoman, huh, JV? How crazy is that? So crazy. Let's read what it says. Purification, meditation. Card number 27. Purification and forgiveness. The geometry of golden spiral hearts encourage you to meditate and purify your consciousness. These hearts embrace the energy of love, both within the core being of the figure and expanding beyond into radiant universal love. She sits in meditation, willing to forgive herself and all beings, ready to purify her intentions to live a life of compassion and integrity. Flames consume and melt away all that does not serve the most loving, kind, and compassionate true self. The blue flame is that which burns away ego. This card encourages you to purify your thoughts and look to your heart for guidance and support. Old paradigm thinking and prejudice reactions have a way of leading to feelings of guilt, gloom, and confusion. Is there any obstacle to your spiritual growth that has caused you concern of late? Is self-criticism impeding your path to true essence? Forgive yourself and see all notions of unworthiness and shame being burned away in the transformative fire of purification. Forgive your loved ones, neighbors, politicians, and all beings for the things they have done or said that do not benefit the greater good. Let the blue flames melt away ego. Reveal self-esteem and self-respect. The universe supports your growth and purification. What an amazing card to end the stream on. I've seen an interview with Meryl Streep about how hard it was for her to get an acting job because they told her she was ugly. Look at her now. They were wrong, I guess. I'm not there yet. I'm not Jesus. I can't forgive. And as long as you believe that, that'll be your truth. Dum bum bum ba dum bum bum 1111. Thank you, dear friends, tuning me into that as well. That card was so relevant. It's wild. You were here for most of the chat as well, Jem. So you got to hear everything that we went through. So many tangents that we touched on collapsed in that card. So much love to you, friends. Thank you for not telling yourself stories of victimhood, for being such powerful entities that you can choose the experience you want to have in this world. I love you. I appreciate you. Feel very connected. Me too. Thank you for connecting. Quantumly entangling, if you will, in this moment with me. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everyone.